Right, so good afternoon, everyone. Thanks very much for coming on this call. My name is Richard Maude. I'm an independent member with CFX. I joined the business back at the end of July. I'm going to spend a bit of time telling a little bit about my background. I'm going to spend quite a bit of time going through the due diligence on the project because that was something that was very important to me. I know it's important to a lot of people. You know, when you're starting a project, you want something to be a long-term project, and so I'll also then cover a little bit about how you make money with CFX and how the business works. So let me just start off with a little bit of background on myself. I'm a company director. Up until recently, I was director of a company called Deval, which is a pharmaceutical company manufacturing, or in the process of developing, I should say, an anti-inflammatory and autoimmune serum called Ames Pro. I also invest heavily in startup projects and have done so for many years. And more recently, I've been working on projects where we're raising funds for startup operations, everything from satellites through to state-of-the-art computer systems, anything from 20 million up to 200 million, so quite significant products. So there's just some people, there we go, coming in now. Great. Okay. Yeah, heading towards 40 people now. Fantastic. I also have been in network marketing for around about 20 years now. Originally, I was a sales director in the corporate world. And whilst I was making a lot of money, I didn't really enjoy it very much. I think it was a combination of I don't like working for other people, and also the fact that it was a linear income. You know, I was only as good as my last sale. So I always used to remember every January thinking, oh goodness, you know, done well last year, but now I've got to perform this year. If I perform, great, I'll make a lot of money. And if I don't, you know, I'll be out of my ear. So I was looking around at things. I was looking at traditional businesses, and I didn't see, you know, anything better there. Basically, I thought it was out of the frying pan into the fire. And then someone introduced me the concept of network marketing. I absolutely loved the concept and jumped at it. And fortunately, you know, I've managed to create some success in the industry over the years, which has enabled me. I still work in the corporate world as a director, but more because I want to rather than because I have to these days. So I was introduced to CFX just over 10 months ago by a good friend of mine. He's someone I know very well, and I rate his opinion. He's a guy that's been very successful in business. He's earned millions of dollars over the years in various projects, everything from Bitcoin to other things. Just Ray, if you could just keep on top of the admits. Quite a few people are joining. I've just admitted those guys. Thanks, Manny. You know, he's someone that he's like me. He doesn't like money games and spends a lot of time doing due diligence. So I trust his opinion, and when he approached me regarding CFX, I knew it wouldn't be rubbish, and sure enough, when he showed it to me, I was mightily impressed. So I joined the business back at the end of July, and since then we've been doing a lot more due diligence, particularly John. He actually flew out, met the owners. He spent quite a bit of time with traders watching what they were doing, and John is actually in a good position to be able to judge that because he's very experienced in the trading world. In fact, he's someone that has, well, he's lived around traders for a long time. One of his best friends is actually a world-class Forex trader. So he really understands the market. And what he saw, he was mightily impressed. He then spent time with the owners going through basically what the plans for the company was. And you know, when you're meeting people, you get a gut feel for what they're doing. And he was very impressed there. He did the maths on everything to do with the business to make sure it was sustainable. And again, very impressed there. He saw the headquarters and everything else. So he came away and he just said, wow, Richard, you know, what these guys are setting up is amazing. And since then, we've both been working closely with the company, particularly John. He's been helping them out with a lot of their marketing because, again, that's part of his background. And about a couple of months ago, he was actually asked to become the marketing director of the company, which is fantastic. So we have that tremendous relationship with the owners. We see firsthand what they're doing, and I'll be talking about them a little.
It just says mute now.
So let me just talk a little bit. There we go. Oops, hang on a second. Just sharing my screen here. Right, there we go. So for those of you that don't know what the Forex market is, it's the foreign exchange market.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the differences between the currencies around the world. So if you have, say, the British pound versus the Japanese yen, you get those fluctuations between the currency prices, and that's when you have fluctuations like that, that means you can actually trade those markets, and that's exactly what companies and banks and institutions do around the world. The market is a $5.3 trillion a day market. Now, that was really important to both John and I when we first looked at this, because one of the challenges with a network marketing business is that it starts off small, but it can grow very quickly and become a large organization. This is why a lot of companies use network marketing as a business model to get a product or service to the market. But in the financial markets, the problem with that is you have to have the liquidity in the market. And as I get pitched all the time on projects, everything from crypto, Bitcoin mining, arbitrage, all of these things. And network marketing presents a unique challenge because of the way a company can grow so quickly. But with the Forex market, that's not an issue. We've got a market here that is $5.3 trillion a day. So CashFX could be trading billions of dollars a day, and it won't be an issue because there's the liquidity in the market. This is why the banks and the big institutions are in this market, because they can trade billions of dollars and make billions of dollars without any issue regarding liquidity. So that was a first tick box for us when we first looked at the project. The second thing, which was very important at the time, was the fact that this market has historically proven to be recession proof. And that's because if you imagine the world could be in recession, you could have the stock market crashing, that kind of thing. And basically, the fact is the currencies will still be fluctuating up and down, so you could still trade even under those conditions. And the key element is the fact that you have flexible risk management strategies available in this market. And that's one of the other things we looked at, is what are the risk strategies of the company when we first looked at it. Because again, we see it all the time. There may be a company making a lot of money, which is fine, but when you actually look at their risk strategies, they're terrible. They have very high drawdown of maybe even 40%. And if you've got a company doing that, then you've got a company that's effectively gambling with your money. And what you'll see is very quickly, you can end up having your account blown. So risk strategies are very important. What we saw here with CashFX, even when they were pushing the risk, they were still looking at a drawdown of only 3%, which is exactly what you want to see. Now, the key thing in a market that we've got at the moment is, of course, that it's unprecedented. This has never happened before. And the way the traders operate is they look at what's going on around the world. There could be a war in a country, there could be an economic crisis or whatever going on around the world. And when that happens, that can reflect in the price of individual currencies. And so they can take an overview of what's going to go up against what currency and that kind of thing. And as I said, in a good market, you could push a risk to sort of 3%, which might mean you might lose more, but at the end of the day, you're still going to make more money at the bottom line. And that's what you want. It's the money at the end of the day that counts. Now, in a market like this, which is unprecedented, one of the great things about the Forex market is you can dial back the risk. And as the lead trader, John Wilson, said recently, he said, because this is an unprecedented market, because, of course, this is an unknown, there is potential unpredictability in the market. And because of that, because they are trading our money, not their money, they've dialed back the risk, and that is exactly what you would expect in this kind of market. So I don't know what the percentages are. They could dial it back to 1% or 0.5%. And by doing so, that does mean the returns are reduced, but at the end of the day, they're protecting the fund. And that's exactly what you want from a world-class trading team. And at the end of the day, we're still making 5 to 6% return a week, which, if you think about it, is incredible in any market, let alone in a market where, you know, all the other markets are crashing around all over the place. So again, the traders are doing the right things, and they're still getting incredible returns, which is testament to the caliber of the traders. So what the company does is they basically take our money, and just like a bank does, if you put your money into a bank account, the bank then pulls that money and they go out there and trade it on the Forex market. It makes them billions of dollars a year. And of course, at the end of the day, what do they give you? A pat on the head, and maybe you get 0.5% interest or something like that at the end of the day. Whereas CashFX do it differently. They do the same thing. They trade, they pool the money, and they make profits on the Forex market, and it's traded Monday to Friday, 5 days a week. And every Saturday, the difference is, unlike the banks that keep the money, they actually share with us that money. So we're getting returns from this very lucrative market. Now, one of the first questions we had when we first looked at the business, and it's a pretty obvious one: how do we know that the trading from CashFX is real? Well, one of the most obvious ones, which is straight away, is the fact that every Saturday we receive our returns. That's money that we can withdraw. And that's one of the great features of CashFX, is people are making money immediately from the operation. So your money's traded Monday to Friday. On Saturday, you receive that money, the money that you can withdraw. So that's obviously a clear indicator that the trading is real. But the other thing we looked at, and very importantly, is the broker. Just so you understand, you know, the relationship between the broker and the trader. A broker doesn't do the trading. All the broker is a middleman. It's a very important part of the trading process. You can't trade the Forex market without a broker, but basically the trader will trade, the broker will then instigate those trades, money in, money out, you know, wins, losses, etc. So a broker effectively is in a unique position to see exactly what the traders are doing. They can see how much money is being traded, the trading strategies, and how successful those strategies are. Now, there are brokers and there are brokers. And again, as I said, I get pitched on a lot of businesses, and, you know, and I always take the time to look at them and very quickly see areas of real concern. One of them is a broker that is, you know, an unknown broker, someone that may be even attached to the trading company. That's a real no-no, huge red flag. Then you can have brokers that are non-regulated or minimally regulated, and they can be reputable. If you've got a broker, and often brokers go down that route simply because of the fact that you know, they can push their risk strategies more and various other things. So they can offer clients that are perhaps, you know, want to have a slightly higher risk, slightly bigger return on their trading returns. They can offer them slightly more flexible approaches, whereas a regulated broker is highly restricted in what you can offer, etc. So a lot of brokers, you know, reputable brokers go down that route. But if you're looking for the best broker, then you are looking for a regulated broker. Now, the company that CashFX uses is a company called EverFX. They are an internationally recognized, multi-award winning, multi-regulated broker. So you're looking at a pinnacle broker here. They've been voted best new multi-asset broker, best online CFD broker, for example. They are the official global partner and sponsor of Sevilla Football Club. So again, you're talking about a very serious company. To be able to be the sponsor of a football club, you know, particularly a Premier football club, you're talking about a serious company. They are multi-regulated. They're currently regulated by CISEC, the Cypriot authorities, and the Cayman authorities, and I think the Seychelles authorities as well. And they're currently going through the process of being audited by the FCA, which is the Financial Conduct Authority here in the UK, and also the South African authorities. And the reason they're being multi-regulated is because it opens up different markets around the world. Because remember, Cash FX, is just one of their customers. They deal with thousands and thousands of customers around the world. And so by going down this route, they're opening up markets to them. They're a very ambitious company. They really want to grow in the marketplace. So the reason that all this is important, the fact that obviously Cash FX is partnered with a broker like this, but also there is a video that if you've seen, you'll understand what I'm talking about. If you haven't, asked the person that introduced you to this call to get you a copy. It's basically an 8-minute video of the Chief Operations Officer, so the Senior Director of the company, standing up on stage and talking about his background. Obviously a very successful, very experienced person. He's been in the industry a long time. He talks about the fact that, why they're being multi-regulated. And he also talks about the relationship with Cash FX. And, you'll see when you watch the video, he doesn't pull any punches. He is strongly recommending Cash FX. He talks about the fact that he's seen thousands of traders, and he said what Cash FX is doing is genuinely special. It's like the market comes to them. And he talks about one of the owners and what an amazing trader he is. Someone I'll introduce you to a bit later on. Now, the key thing here, take away here, put yourself into his shoes. If you were the Chief Operations Officer of a multi-regulated broker, and if any of you are a financial advisor, and if not, just talk to your financial advisor, they'll tell you that being financially regulated is a pain because it is very restrictive. The poor financial advisors these days, they'll have one meeting with you and they'll have to spend a week virtually writing it up, all what they said, what they didn't say, did you confirm this, did you confirm that? It is very restrictive. It's no different for the broker. They have to do everything by the book. The fact that they're being audited at the moment means that the directors are being looked into, their backgrounds, the books are being looked at, the bank accounts are being looked at, the processes that are being looked at, everything's being looked at. So as a broker, they have to be squeaky clean normally, but the fact that they're actually being audited at the moment means even more so. So as I said, if you were in his shoes, would you fly all the way to Panama, stand up on a stage and be videoed in public recommending a company that was not doing what they said they were doing? That would be business suicide. So the answer is no, you most certainly wouldn't do that. And the point being that what we're seeing here is a broker that is, and it is remarkable, by the way, because the broker, even though it's being, audited and everything else, has gone out of their way to recommend Cash FX. And it's not just him, by the way. Other managers, there's been videos with other managers, within the company talking about their relationship with Cash FX and how impressed they are. So here we have a multi-regulated broker going out of their way to recommend Cash FX, knowing exactly what Cash FX does because they are the broker. They can see exactly what's going on. And that means that not only are they incredibly impressed with what they've seen so far, but they're also very confident of what's going to be happening in the future. And that's really important because it's not just about the past. If a company that's putting their name to Cash FX, and they are publicly, then they're expecting the company to perform long term, because otherwise there's no way they would do that. So just to recap, the importance of this is that the company's working with a multi-regulated, award-winning broker. The broker is going out of their way to recommend the company, even though they can see exactly what's going on. So we know for certain that Cash FX is performing the way they're performing. Since I've been with the company now for 10 months, and I've seen returns anywhere from 5 to 13% a week, which are stunning returns. 5 to 6% in these market conditions is incredible. So we know that those returns are real. As I said, John sat with the traders, watched them firsthand. He knows how good they are. So we're talking about a company that is offering a world-class Forex service. So now let's just look at some of the other aspects of the business. Now, one of the first things I look into when I'm looking to invest in a startup company, and I've invested up to £200,000 into a project, so this is really important. I always look at who are the people behind the company. what's their background? Have they got any black marks? Where do they live? You know, what's their skill set? Do they have the required skills to take a business from a beginning company to a mature business where I can see a return on my investment? Well, again, Huáscar Lopez very much fits that bill. I mean, as you can see from this picture here, he's a young chap, but don't let that fool you. He comes from a highly educated background. His father is a lawyer. His mother is an educator. She's a professor at a university. He himself was studying medicine, and he switched across to business because that was his passion. And he, not to put too fine a point on it, he is a very, very successful businessman. You know, he must be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He has investment in properties, land, manufacturing. He's also been very successful in Bitcoin trading. He recently cashed out $90 million worth of Bitcoin, and I understand he's still got a huge holding. So he's a very clever, very switched on businessman, very successful, cash rich. He lives in the US, he's a family man. And he's also, again, the key thing for us, a seriously good network marketer. He's built significant teams in the industry. And again, interesting, here is a man that is very successful in traditional business, but he also loves marketing. And what he loves about it is the fact that we've got a business that gives back to people. You'll see when I go through the rewards plan, you know, everyone can make money with CashFX. The rewards plan is designed so that if people want to refer friends, they can make extraordinary returns from that. So he set this business up for that. It is his passion. It's something that we've seen working with him over the months. You know, he's setting it up as a legacy company. And again, another indicator of that is the fact that he has is investing millions of dollars of his own money into the project. Things like the new headquarters, they're bringing the payment processor in-house, which is a huge thing, because again, the payment processor has been superb. We've not had a single issue with it since I've been involved with the company. And yet, typical Huáscar, he wants to take control, make sure that he has absolute control of everything he does. The legal team, again, you know, they could have got any lawyers, but they decided to go for lawyers based in Washington, D.C. in the US, and they are the ex-litigation arm of the SEC, the Securities and Equities Commission there. Doesn't get better than that when it comes to securities lawyers. No doubt, hideously expensive. But again, it's typical of Huáscar. And what they're currently doing is they're not just making sure the company's legal in the US. There are lots of companies that are legal in the US. He's actually going through the process to get the company ratified by the SEC as legal in the US. So that's a real key point. So as I said, we've been working closely with Huáscar. He's very visible. We used to be able to meet him. Now, of course, we can't, but he's now online regularly with us. John works with him every day, sees what he's doing, what he's thinking. He's planning 5 years ahead. He's creating a real legacy business, and this is his passion. This is what he's working on virtually solely at the moment, because he wants to make something really special and help millions of people around the world. So we've got a very good captain of the ship. He's capable both from a traditional business point of view, but also from an MLM point of view, and this is his passion. Now, the other director, Edwin, he is the specialist in the Forex side of the business. He is someone that is, again, a successful businessman. He ran a successful engineering company, but he's also a world-class trader. He is the gentleman that is talked about by the COO of EverFX. And, you know, high praise indeed. When you watch the presentation by the COO of EverFX, you'll see that, again, he doesn't pull any punches. Mightily impressed with this guy, and he sees many traders around the world. So again, we know we've got someone that is, you know, again, another really good captain of the ship on that side of the business. Just some stats on the company: 20,000 active members around the world. So again, if you're, you know, someone that is interested in using this business as a business, then it's a huge opportunity, because this company is going to be huge in the coming months and years, and you can position yourself to capitalize on that as we move forward. We're in 100 countries around the world and 71,000 successful payouts. I've already mentioned the payment processor has been, you know, seamless. I mean, I've been involved, as I said, with the company 10 months. I don't know if I've counted how many withdrawals I've made, 20, 30, something like that. Not an issue. Money goes straight into my account every time, on time. And same for everyone in my team, and same for everyone in the business. And yet, even so, As I said, Wascar's bringing the payment processor in-house because he wants to make it, well, not necessarily make it better, but just make sure that he maintains that control. And the technology they use for the trading is proprietary technology, 100% developed in-house. Again, really important. Again, when I get pitched on Forex deals, again, another thing I look at, you know, oh, we've got a bot. Well, if that's a bought off the shelf item, I can guarantee you the problem with bots is they'll work until they don't, because there is a shelf life on a bot for the capability. But if you're developing the technology in-house, that's a different kettle of fish, and that's something I'll talk about in a second. So this is the team behind the company, and again, there's John, my role. As I said, he's recently become the marketing director, which is great. You know, he's someone that, you know, I'm working with directly on a daily basis, and he's working with Wascar on a daily basis. So we get that tremendous feedback of what's going on in the business, and John has been mightily impressed with everything he sees. So this is the traders. You notice here it says Cash FX traders and engineers. Why engineers? Well, that gets back to that proprietary technology. So you've got 4 traders here. They're all world-class. They've been trading for many years. John Wilson is the senior trader, and John Lowestoft is the engineer. And his role is to develop and to continually tweak, and that is the key, the technology they're using to do the trading, which is expert advisor and artificial intelligence. Now, why are they using this technology? Well, banks and institutions use this kind of technology as well because it has several key advantages. First of all, you know, the market is traded Monday to Friday, 24 hours a day, which is pretty tough if you're a trader to be doing that all day long and all night long as well. So by using technology to do the trading, that takes the pressure off on the traders. But also technology always trades without any emotion. And in trading, that's really important. It's all very well trading $100, but if you're trading $1 million or even $1 billion, there is a certain pressure associated with that, but a computer doesn't care. It'll trade exactly the same way, and that's a key thing. In addition to that, the technology can also do thousands of little trades. It's called a thing called scalping, where it just scalps a little profit on all those things. So it's a very effective way of trading. So the way it works is the guys work together in combination with the technology. They look at the markets as they always do. They assess what's going on, make judgment calls regarding the trading, and then John is constantly tweaking it and honing it, optimizing it, so they're getting those consistent results. And as I said, I've been with the company 10 months, tremendous results, anywhere from 5 to 13% on a weekly basis. And this is a system that is clearly working long term and is being recommended by the broker, who can see firsthand exactly what these guys are doing. Couple more things on the due diligence, and as I said, I'm spending a bit of time on this because this is really important. You know, it's all very well me showing you a business where you can make money, but if it's not around in 6 months or 12 months, that's no good. You want a business that's going to be around long term, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. So again, the fact that Ron Pope is involved with the company the way he is was, again, another big tick box. Ron is a very well-known businessman based in the US. Again, he's someone that has built companies, various companies over the years very successfully. He's also a business consultant. He takes on projects where companies are struggling and he helps turn them around. So again, a very switched on, very clever businessman. He's the co-founder and president CEO of the Conversion Pros, which are an internationally recognized world-class company. They work with Fortune 500 companies and many network marketing companies around the world. They're in 60 countries. And they are known as the premier global software company there, and they specialize in everything from customer software development, back office portals, commission tracking, online marketing, etc. And basically the infrastructure of a company. Now, if you have a company that is using the Conversion Pros, because these guys are not cheap, you know, you're basically buying in the best to do that. And so the fact that Cash FX have these guys behind the company is really good. And it's something that we've seen firsthand. I mean, I've been involved in startup companies over the years, and usually it's been, shall we say, challenging, because there's been issue after issue after issue. With Cash FX, I think one of the key advantages here is because it's so well funded and they're bringing in experts like the Conversion Pros, it has been plain sailing. As one of my team said to me the other day, it's been a walk in the park. Everything has worked exactly as you would expect. There's never been any challenges. The payments have been fine. Everything has been absolutely fine. So it's, and, you know, and everything they said they were going to deliver, they've delivered on. So it's been an absolute joy to work with these guys over the last 10 months. They really are making a difference to the business. So having them behind the company is a real tick box, but it goes one stage further than that. Ron has been in and around the network marketing industry for a long time. He's not been he's always been the guy in the background, doing the infrastructure, whatever, as a consultant. But for the first time, he's actually decided he's seen what CashFX are doing. Of course, he is the infrastructure of the company, so of course he can see what's going on. He's so impressed that he's actually become a member. He's become an affiliate. He's actually out there building a team like I am and like all the other people in my business, because of the fact of what he sees as so impressed him. That again is a huge tick box. This is a guy that's highly reputable. He's got a real reputation behind him. So he's been so impressed that he's happy to put his name and his company's name to the business. So again, a huge tick box. And finally, and by no means least, we have the headquarters. And again, this is an online business. And there are many online companies that don't have a headquarters. Often it's because of the fact that, having a headquarters can be prohibitively expensive. So for a new startup company that, for example, is starting up on a shoestring, it means that, they can keep the overheads down by not having an office. So not having an office is not necessarily a bad thing. Let's just get rid of that video. Stop video. There we go. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's more what I would call a grey flag. But if you, and again, many companies do have offices, but they're often leased. But CashFX is, again, doing it differently. This is a very cash-rich company, remember, and they are investing in the project because they are making this a long-term legacy business. And so they have purchased outright the whole of the 9th floor of the RBS Tower, which is a prestigious building in a prestigious part of Panama City. There's the architect on the project, Carolina there. And they've currently spent $2.2 million on the project. John and also several people in my team have actually already visited the offices and were mightily impressed. And the offices are absolutely nearing completion. I think it's going to be completed in the next few weeks. And when it is going to have the most advanced trading floor in the southern hemisphere, and it's also going to have an open door policy, so people will be able to literally just turn up, they'll be greeted with open arms, they'll be shown around the offices and everything else. So again, when you look at that, you see a business that's investing in the infrastructure. It's going to be very transparent. People are going to be able to visit the offices. This, as you can see here, this screen wall here, that is exactly as it is. Serious money spent on that alone. So this is going to be a fabulous office for people to come and see, sort of a jewel to be able to show prospects and existing members alike that they're with a real brick and mortar company. Now, so just to recap, okay, here we've got a company that is run by owners that really know what they're doing. They're expert businessmen. They're people that are experts in the network marketing arena. They're people that are experts in the Forex market. And they are investing heavily in the project. Everything they do is they're bringing in the best. So you've got people like the conversion pros running the back office. They are considered to be the premier company in the space, and yet there they are recommended.
And that gives you
then you've got people that are, hang on a second, I'll just mute that. There we go, great, thank you. Then you've got, the brokers themselves, again, world-class, multi-regulated, multi-award-winning broker that is, again, going out of their way to recommend the company, and you've got the headquarters, etc., etc. You can just go through the list. There are no red flags with CashFX. Everything is a tick box. And listen, at the end of the day, this is business, guys. I've been in business long enough to know there's no such thing as a guarantee. When I invest 100,000 or even 200,000 into a project, I know there is no guarantees, but you can minimize the risk by doing your due diligence and looking at the facts. I don't listen to anyone else. I don't care what other people's opinions are. I'm certainly not online. I never listen to people online. What I do is I look at the facts and I look at, who are the people behind it? Where's their headquarters? What are they doing, etc. As you've just seen here. And as I said, with CashFX, everything stacks up. So they are setting this up to be a legacy business, and everything is indicating that. So there is a very strong foundation for me to show you what I'm going to show you now. So that's the structure. Now we're looking at basically how we make money from the company. And basically, as I haven't even mentioned this actually, one of the new products that the company is going to be launching soon is what's called copy trading, where they're working with EverFX so that members will be able to actually set up a broker account directly with EverFX, and then CashFX will make the trade, and that account will then be will copy that trade. So you've got your own broker account, which is as good as a bank account. Basically, no one can touch that money; it's your money. Even EverFX can't touch that money; it's insured, etc., because it's with the regulated broker account. But when CashFX makes a trade, your account copies that trade. So that is going to be an amazing product we're getting. And again, that's just weeks away. I think it's a couple of months away on the outside. So that's one of the new products that we're getting. But the current product we have means that people can start for as little as $300, and you can buy a contract for $300 all the way up to the 100K contract. Now I have people joining my business at 100K, 70K, 50K, you know, whatever people feel comfortable with. Now I must stress, this is really important, you know, if you decide that you want to start with CashFX, don't bet the farm, don't remortgage your house or anything stupid, because I know people get excited. And I've seen this before where people might start off with a small contract, they see it working, they go, wow, this is really exciting. Now I'm going to go and, you know, borrow money or something stupid. No, don't do that. Start off small and just let the business grow organically. I started off with a $300 contract, by the way, guys. Now, I did that not because of any sort of misgivings regarding the business, far from it. It was just because I'm an experienced network marketer, and I know I can build big teams. And I wanted to show people how I could start from $300 and work my way all the way up to the 100K contract without putting a penny more of my own money into the business. And I did that in 8 months. Now, again, I must stress, I'm an experienced business builder. That wouldn't happen for everyone, but it just wanted to show people what is possible with the business. So when I first started, I was making, you know, $20 a week. Now I'm on a 100K contract making thousands of dollars a week, and I started off with just $300. So you can do the same. You know, come in with whatever you feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable with 1K, 5K, 10K, that's great. And you come in with a higher contract if you want to. Main only reason is because A, you're earning more money, but also you can accelerate yourself up to the 100K contract, okay? So, and of course, always important to point out, past results are no guarantee of future results, okay? That's a fact of life, but you know, it's like everything. You have to make judgment calls, and based on what the guys have done in the past, there is a very good chance that they will continue to be doing this long term. But that's why you only invest what you can afford, key thing. Okay, so what do you get when you buy? And I'll just show you the $300 contract because that's the first on the list. So let's say you decide to join for $300. What do you get for your money? Well, you get two things: the Academy Pack, and I'll explain that in a second, and the trade pool deposit. So how does this work? So what is the Academy Pack? Well, the company is listed as a training company, not a trading company. Now, this is going to be a very big part of the business. It's going to be an accredited program. It's going to be government accredited program where people can learn how to trade from the very basics, the elemental series, where you'll basically introduce the world of Forex, learn the basics and become familiar with important terms and top concepts, right the way through to the Supreme series, where you're being taught advanced trading techniques and also including the psychology of trading, which is incredibly important. Now this, no, not everyone's going to want to do this. I mean, I would like to do this, but I don't have time to do this. But this is going to be a very popular product for a lot of people because right now their businesses may have stopped. Their job has just quit. Whatever it is, they're looking for a way of making money. And this is going to be an incredibly valuable skill because this is a $5.3 trillion a day decentralized market that you can tap in and make money, and you can make that money outside of CashFX. So whatever you want to do, you've always got that skill there. So it's a really, really powerful product that we're going to be offering people once we get it. And again, that's just months away from being launched. So that's the Academy program. And so when you buy a $300 contract, 30%, or in this case, $90 or $300 goes towards the cost of the Academy program. And the remaining $210 goes into the trade pool. That is just like a bank. When you put your money into a bank account, that is then traded 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, and every Saturday you receive your trading returns, which is a withdrawable income. Now, so the deal is that the contract will last 2 times. So you buy a $300 contract, you will get 2 times the value of that back, $600. Once that contract is completed, you can do various things. Take your money and run. It's been paid into your account. Remember, every Saturday you can buy another $300 contract and just pocket your profits. Or you can do what most people do, is look at this as a way of creating a fund that will grow and grow and grow and give you an ongoing lifetime income. So how would that work? Well, one of the key things the company does is that if you take your money out just before the contract completes, you can take some of your profits and upgrade to the next level. And what the company allows us to do, which is really important, is upgrade by paying the difference. So you're not paying the full amount. If the contract completes, then you'd have to buy the full amount. So either $300 contract again, or you'd have to pay for the full $500 contract. But if you take your money out just before the contract completes, you could pocket your profits and take a little bit of those profits and pay just $200, or the difference between the $300 and the $500 contract, to upgrade to the $500 contract. Now, why is that important? The reason the company's done it this way, because it means that someone can start with $300 or whatever they start, and they can upgrade and upgrade and upgrade all the way to the 100K contract without putting a penny more of your own money into the business. So there's no upfront fees, no monthly fees, key thing. So everyone's making money with CashFX. You know, I mean, I've got quite a large team with CashFX now, and no one quits because everyone's making money, which, by the way, is a great thing when it comes to referrals. If you're referring to someone, they're not going to be unhappy because they're making money, which they can withdraw every week. And it enables people to start off from small beginnings and upgrade and upgrade. So, and why do you want to upgrade? Well, when you start with a $300 contract, you're trading $210. So let's say you were getting a return of 10%. I'll just use that because it's a simple number to work with. You'd be making $21. If you upgrade to the $500 contract, now you're trading $350. So you're now making $35. Now, again, we're not talking about a big amount of money here. You're not going to change your life 2 seconds flat by coming in with a $300 contract. But what you've done is you've gone from a $300 contract to a $500 contract using your profits from the trading. And now you're trading $350, so you're making more money. And of course, that means that it will accelerate you up to the 1K contract. And again, you only pay the difference. So in other words, just $500, you upgrade. So you take, remember, this is going to double at $1,000. So you're going to take some of your profits and upgrade to the 1K contract. And now you're trading $700. So you're now making $70 a week, assuming a 10% return, and so on and so forth. You know, as you can see, it jumps up $140 and so on. So each time you upgrade, you're trading more money, you're getting the same returns, whatever they are, they fluctuate, and you upgrade and upgrade. So one thing I should have said, by the way, because it is a really important thing from the due diligence point of view, is people often ask me, well, how long is it going to take for a contract to complete? And the correct answer is it'll take as long as it takes. Because if I'd seen anything like, you know, it's going to take 6 months, or the percentage is this fixed, or this compounding, wouldn't touch this business with a barge pole, because that's a business that is going to fail. The beautiful thing about this business is that if the tradings are doing well, then you'll see the speed of the contract speeding up. If they're doing less well, it slows down. That is important because the company is only paying out the money that is coming in from the trading. Never pays that anymore. So it can never overheat. There's never going to be a situation where the company is going to run out of money or something like that, because it can't. The money's come, all the company's doing is the money comes in through the trading, and they pay you that money. So that can never be a problem for the company, okay? So that's a key thing about this. And so it'll take as long as it takes, but it is remarkably quick in real terms. You know, someone can start off with the $300, and depending on the trading returns, because again, it'll vary because it's an organic thing, the trading's doing well or doing less well, you're going to see this happen. But you can go all the way to the 100K contract in a matter of a few years, maybe anywhere from 2 years, I don't know, to 4 years, depending on the trading returns. So no fixed return, but we're still talking about remarkably small timeframes. So just as a comparison, Now, I don't have a pension. The reason I don't have a pension is because I don't believe in them. I think they're absolutely rubbish. You know, I've seen it before, and of course, you may have seen on the news that the governments are worried about the fact that the pensions are not performing. And you could imagine, because they're linked to the stock market, how well they're doing at the moment, or not, as the case may be. But just as a comparison, a pension, you put $300 a month in, for example. Now that money's gone. You can't touch that money. You have to wait till the pension matures, and you put it in for 30 years. So you're talking about investing $100,000 plus over that period of time to maybe get a pension in 30 years' time. Or you can start with $300 with Cash FX one time, and you can upgrade and upgrade and upgrade to the 100K contract and end up with an income of $50,000 to $120,000 a year income, depending on trading returns. As I said, you know, trading returns do fluctuate. That is incredible for a one-time starting fee of $300. And you also get a world-class training, academy training program, which if you want to take advantage of that, can give you a real skill that you can use again and again in future. So this is a world-class product. Remember, this is a product that is being recommended by a multi-awarding, regulated broker. So clearly superb product. So that's the product. So whether you want to introduce anyone else to this business or not, you can make money with Cash FX. Now, you may be someone who says to me, I don't want to introduce anyone to the business. That's absolutely fine. You don't have to. But I still recommend you watch this second part, because if you decide you do, and it's quite funny because I see it all the time, someone says to me, Richard, I'm not interested in referring you. And I go, yeah, that's absolutely fine. And a week or so later, once they've been using the, you know, seeing the returns and seeing it working, they go, do you know what? I am going to start referring some friends to this. And sure enough, they do. And if they do, as I'm going to show you, it is remarkably lucrative because, again, Waskar set this business up so people can do a little bit and make a very serious return. So when you buy, for example, as the example given here, a 1K contract, whether you've upgraded to it or you've purchased it to start off with, the 70% is taken towards the trading deposit, $700, and the deal is you're going to get 2 times your purchase price back, $2,000. So you don't get 2 times 700, you get 2 times 1K, which is $2,000. Fantastic deal. You can then, as I said, take your money and run. You can buy another 1K contract to repeat the process, or you can upgrade, take some of your profits and upgrade. Now, the other 30%, which is the academy program, 100% of that is paid to the field. 50% goes in a fast start, which goes to the introducer, and 50% goes into the junior level. Now, by the way, if this is the first time you've seen a network marketing business or whatever, you know, don't worry if this seems information overload, because I appreciate there's a lot to be taken. And I do have to go through it so you can understand, get an overview anyway. But don't worry if it's all a bit too much. You can get back to the person that introduced you after this call and talk to them about, you know, to understand it a little bit more. Now, by the way, one thing I should also say that, you know, this is a business. And like any business, you have to, you know, take it seriously. You know, even if you're going to do a little bit, if you do a little bit, you can make a little bit of money. If you want to earn a lot of money, like some of the top leaders in the business, then you have to work hard. It's hard work. It's like any business. This is not a business you can turn up and do nothing and make money. Well, you can from the trading, because the pros are trading for you. But if you want to actually build the business, then you have to take it seriously. But the fact is, as you'll see here, the company rewards that enormously. So I'll use myself as the example. I started off with a $300 contract. So when John enrolled me, basically the 30% is taken for the academy program, which is $90, and 50% of that was paid to John. So John received $45. You can't exactly retire on that, but this is the power of this rewards plan. Because of course, what happened, even if I was a passive member, I would receive my trading returns, I'd be making my profits, withdrawing my money, and then I would have thought, I want to upgrade to the next level, and I upgrade. So when I upgraded to the $500 contract, John received a fast start bonus. Then I upgraded to the $1,000 contract. John received another fast start bonus, but a bigger bonus this time. Then I upgraded to the $2,000 contract, the $3,000 contract, and every time I upgraded, John received a bonus. Each time it got bigger and bigger. When I upgraded to the $100,000 contract, John received $7,500. So John introduced me just a few months ago, 8 months ago, when it was 8 months to get to the 100K contract. In 8 months previously, he introduced me for $300. He was now getting paid $7,500. Now that I'm on the 100K contract, just like all the contracts, they'll complete. The deal is 100K contract, I'll receive 200K back, thank you very much. I take my profits and I buy another 100K contract. And every time I buy that contract, John is going to receive $15,000. So just put that into perspective. Someone can join Cash FX for $300. They introduce their friends, 3 friends for $300. Everyone is going to get up to the 100K contract. When that happens, the original introducer is going to receive $160,000 a year, depending on trading returns. That will fluctuate, but that's, just taking that as an example. So that is, well, as I said, where else are you going to get that? Absolutely extraordinary. So that's one of the beauties of this business. You can do a little bit, or you can do a lot. Now, if you do a lot, the potential is huge. I've got a lady in my business, Hazel Moore. She's a 68-year-old grandmother. She's never done anything like this before. She's just been putting posts up on Facebook, and she's now got a team of 37 people. And those 37 people, and they're everyone from mums through to business owners, through to the lady, for example, has got a fund. I think she put in $30,000. So every single one of those people will get to the 100K contract at some stage. The business builders will do it quickly. The passive ones will take 2.5, 3 years, or however long it takes. And the fact is, once they're there, Hazel will be earning $900,000 a year from the fast start. So Hazel is changing her life by introducing people to this concept, and that's just from the fast start. Really, really powerful. And there are a couple more things. I'll just quickly go through this. Basically, the other 50% goes towards the unit level, which enables us to be paid off different people. So if you introduce Fred, who introduces Steve, who introduces Jane, you'll also receive bonuses from that. This is a concept I love. It's great being paid off one level, as you can see, very lucrative. But in Cash FX, they allow us to be paid off the people they introduce. Now, Hazel, again, never done this before. She's got a team of 300 people. Now, she's taking the business seriously, and she's working hard on it, but it's very worth her while doing so, because you can see here, levels 1 to 4, you don't have to achieve anything other than people referring people. You get 10% here. At the executive level, which is the first position in the leadership levels, which again, a lot of people get to, you pick up levels 5 and 6, 20%. As you can see here, this is where the biggest payout is. Why? Because again, Wasker wanted to make the business open for everyone, not just the big leaders. And at 20%, well, I'll give you an example. There's a guy on my team, he had a 30K contract and he upgraded to the 100K contract. And when he did that, the person 5 levels above him didn't know who he was. That person received $2,100 when that happened. So if you have people on your 5th and 6th level that are on the 100K contracts, and they're renewing their contracts, you'll be making $3,000 a pop. So you can see there is huge money in the rewards plan for people if they take the business seriously and go out there and build a team. Now, there is a lot more in the rewards plans. The matrix, this is designed again for passive members to make money as people come into their business from above, but I won't go into too much detail there because it's almost too much information as it is. If you want to know more about that, get back to the person that introduced you and they can talk you through how you make money from there. So I don't want to overwhelm people, particularly if they're new to this concept. But the fact is, just in summary, guys, we have got a business here. I'll just stop sharing here. We've got a business here that people can start for as little as $300. You've got a business that is run by people that really know what they're doing, both from a traditional business point of view, from a network marketing point of view, and also from a trading point of view. They're investing millions of dollars in the project. They're partnering up with people like the conversion pros, which is good enough in itself, but the fact is the conversion pros are out there highly recommending the business. You've then got they're working with internationally recognized multi-award-winning, multi-regulated brokers that are going out of their way to recommend the company, which is a real plus. You've got a company that is investing millions in the infrastructure, including a $2.2 million headquarters. So that is a very special business. You've got a business that is in a market that is recession-proof, that is giving incredible returns for people, which is unique in this current marketplace right now. It's a business where you can work exclusively from home. I've built my team exclusively from home doing this, not met a single person to build my business. So it's open for everyone. And it's a business that's not difficult. If you want to refer people, all you do is invite them to come along and watch a presentation like this. I'm doing a presentation every day, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. And that's it. And they're either interested or they're not. That's great. I mean, you've just been a friend to them. You've offered them something, a way that they can make money. And a lot of people are looking for ways to make money. A lot of people need a plan B right now. So it's an amazing opportunity. And as you can see, you can make a lot of money with CashFX. So I hope you found this overview helpful. And as I said, get back to the person that introduced you, get your questions answered. And if you decide to join the company, I'm very much looking forward to working with you. So thanks for attending the call, and stay safe.